Good morning, everyone, and happy snow day yet again. Uh, I don't know about you, but I love the way the snow sparkles in the sunlight. It looks like the landscape is shining like diamonds, and it seems like there's an endless amount of detail that you can see in the bright light. Welcome to the online only Unity Center of Des Moines broadcast. I'm Stevie Lang, and if you are joining us for the first time, please know that Unity Center of Des Moines is a diverse community that is committed to supporting a positive spiritual path. We welcome you just as you are and recognize your own individual sovereignty on your own unique path. We will not tell you what to believe, but we will invite you and share concepts that you can use if you so choose. So, if you have a chance to come in person, next Tuesday, December 16th, is our Christmas candlelight celebration. It's supposed to be 43 degrees, so we should have a pretty good melt, and it's going to be a great time of singing carols and getting together in community. There's going to be time for meditation. I'm going to be giving a short message on journeying into the unknown. And then afterwards, we are going to have potluck style snacks and a white elephant gift exchange if you would like to participate. All are welcome. You can participate in one to all of those things, whatever resonates with you. You don't have to have any specific belief system to come and join us, and you don't have to have even ever walked in Unity Center before to come and participate. So again, that's going to be Tuesday, December 16th, our Christmas candlelight celebration. And if you're joining us online right now, I hope you come see us in person. There's some welcome packets and goodies as you come in. So announcements. We talked about the Christmas candlelight service. If you were planning to come to any Unity in-person things, there was a yoga class that was scheduled this afternoon. That has all been canceled. The event with Rachel that was supposed to have been yesterday, that got rescheduled to February 14th. The Winter Solstice Big Pyramid event is coming up on the 21st of this month. And then on Tuesday, the 23rd, there's the cacao ceremony and new moon gong bath. Then on 12/31 is the New Year's chakra clearing. And all of the details, the pricing and the timing and all that is on our website, unitydesmoines.com. If you click on the calendar and either on your phone, click month, or if you go on a desktop, you'll see the entire month there. So welcome. I see multiple people joining, and we're just so glad. I'm just going through the announcements. Heads up, there is no common thread on Thursday, New Year's, but Beverly is working on getting an exciting lineup of speakers for Common Thread coming in 2026. So it's not going to be long, and 2026 on the calendar will be here. All of our regular events are also available on unitydesmoines.com. If you're wondering if it's going to be an in-person or online service this winter, please check our website, because I will put on the header if it's going to be online only, and I'll also adjust the calendar. So if you go to the calendar and you see that an event you saw before has disappeared, it's been rescheduled because of weather. So just know the website, unitydesmoines.com. All kinds of goodies there. And side note, I'm also open to suggestions on how to make that website easier to understand and easier to follow, because I get a lot of questions and my answer is it's on the website. So I'm thinking if there may be some ideas to make it easier to find things, or if it's just a matter of go to the website and see if you can find it. And feel free to either text or call me at 515-903-3033, or you can click on sending an email through the website, unitydesmoines.com. All right, well, I skipped the song part because I didn't have one prepared, but now I am getting a little nudge to sing anyway. and it will be a cappella, and it's about the elements. The lyrics are earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. And it goes something like this. Feel free to sing along. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, hear my breath and fire my spirit, earth my body, water my blood. Hear my breath and fire my spirit. Yes. And that's just a little reminder that we are loved and supported by the very power that makes the sun rise and the moon go through phases and the flowers bloom right on time. Let's do our statement of faith. If you know it by heart, feel free to say it along. And that is, there is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. Next, the unity affirmation. And if you could try to say this along with me, and whether you know the words or not, if you could take a deep breath and sink into your chair, let your eyes fall closed if it feels natural to you. Just relax into this very moment where you are loved, held, and supported by the oneness that connects us all. Unity of Des Moines is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract good and to radiate good to others. And with that radiating goodness, I have a list of people to hold in our prayers this week. I have some additional names I did not get on this list. And with intention, I want to support those people as well. But the names I do have are Elena, Allie, Alexander, Annabelle, Bobby and family, Brittany, Carla, Seal, Chad, Dennis, Dawn, Deb and family, Denny, DJ, Elizabeth, Jack, Jennifer, Jesse, Jody, John, Jotsana, Karen, Carrie, Kim and family, Christina, Laura, Linda, Lynn and family, Marilee, Muhammad, Matthew, Paul, Pam, Patrick, Celine, Scott, Susan, Victoria, and people with struggles we know nothing about. I'd like to invite you to grab a beverage, ideally something warm. When it's this cold out, it is good for our bodies to put warm things in it and avoid things that are too cold. I have some licorice tea in a little snowflake cup that was gifted to me. And before you take a sip, I invite you to just hold it, to notice what you observe in this moment about this cup. I notice that my nose is dripping a little bit. It does that in the wintertime. I noticed that the cup is a little too hot to hold with my bare hands. It's warm, but too warm. The handle, though, is nice and cool, and as is the lip. When I smell it, I smell the subtle scent of licorice. And I notice that my mouth starts watering as I'm anticipating taking a sip. Take a moment now and see what you notice yourself observing. At some point, you'll feel complete in that exercise. And then I invite you to take a sip. And as you take that sip, don't swallow it right away, but just hold it in your mouth. And again, notice what you observe in the sensations of the sip. I notice that I gulped it down. Let's try again. I noticed I gulped it down because it was a little uncomfortable as it went into my mouth. Not actually dangerous. It wasn't so hot it was going to burn my tongue, but the heat was uncomfortable, so I wanted to get through it as fast as I could. When I made myself savor with intention, I noticed a tingly feeling on the roof of my mouth and the flavors on my tongue, which I didn't notice if I gulped it down. I'll just take some time here, going at your own pace, allowing yourself to notice whatever you notice, because it all belongs. And there's no wrong way to notice. Whatever it is that gets your attention, just observe. My little tag here says stash. And there's a cute little design on the other side. Maybe your tea has a tag and maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're not even drinking tea. Maybe you hate winter. Maybe you love winter. All of it is just information, not good or bad or better or worse. It just is. I just burped. I find my nervous system relaxing with this exercise, settling into my chair, my shoulders, feeling a little bit less tense. Sometimes I can feel like too much of the world is my responsibility. And it's good to be reminded that I'm not doing this alone, that I have, and you have, the infinite well of divine love and light supporting you and loving you and moving through you and all around you. Whatever name you want to call that, or even if it might feel like you don't know what I'm talking about, it's still there. It's still loving and supporting you. Feel free to keep sipping as I realize that I don't have a reading for today because it's not in my binder. Oh, that's cute. Okay, just a second. I'm going to take that as a sign to completely follow my intuition on what I grabbed to read today. Please stand by and keep sipping your warm beverage. Sorry about that. As I sit here, I'm reminded of a lesson that I've learned and I continue to have reinforced. And that is, even when we have the best plans and we think that we know exactly what needs to be and we put all this pressure on ourselves, sometimes there's something else that that source of love and light has in mind for us. And if we allow ourselves to just go with the flow without judgment, I'm always pleasantly surprised by what comes out. So I just purchased this book. I have not yet opened it until this very moment. And when I opened it, here's what showed up. When cut in two, the cut worm forgives the plow. William Blake. The worm is one of the only creatures that grows from being cut. Mysteriously, if you can cut a worm in two, each cut half becomes whole, and you have two worms. What is it in how the worm lives that allows it to grow from its pain? And how might we translate that into being human? Well, without looking too far, the worm is completely in touch with the earth. In fact, it eats the earth. It lives in humus, soil, inside and out. Perhaps the secret to growing from our wounds is to live close to the earth, to live with our hearts and minds and bellies in touch, both inside and out, with that which is larger than we are. Perhaps, when cut in two, it is a life of humility, of risking to be at one with the soil of our experience that allows us to heal into something entirely new. And then there's a little exercise that says, center yourself and meditate with kindness on a place where you feel cut into. Let's do that together. Next, it says, inhale deeply and bring the universal air to this raw and tender place. Inhale thoroughly and let the elements infuse your wound with the atoms of a new beginning. Let's do that together. I love winter. I genuinely love winter. And the reason why eludes me a little bit, but I've been thinking about it. And part of the reason why is because my fondest memories with my father were in winter, ice skating and sledding, and him teaching me how to stay warm in the cold. I have specific memories of him spending time with me and giving me attention in the winter. So that's part of it. Also, I enjoy all the textures and the quiet stillness of the winter. The world, especially this morning when it's this cold, you can hear yourself breathing. You can hear every step you take, and things are just more clear in the crisp, cold air. It's also a lesson in resiliency and being prepared for what's to come. Because if I were to go out, let's say in a bikini, I would have a very different experience of winter than wearing my fleece lined leggings and my furry boots and my fuzzy hat and my warm scarf and my warm gloves. The difference in those experiences is not what's going on outside, but what went on inside and how I chose to respond to the knowledge of the temperature and what's going on outside. And that's been a big lesson for me this year, is that it's really not about what happened in the past. It's not about what might happen in the future or someone's potential. It's not about what other people choose to do. It's all about, how do I show up in this present moment? And how existing can be a prayer. With every moment, with every breath, we can notice, we can ask ourselves, how can I serve the highest good in this moment? P.S. The highest good serves you and everyone else. No one's left out of that scenario because we are all connected. I've also learned the best way that I can help someone is to imagine and think about them knowing the truth of themselves, their whole, complete, perfect love and light source of themselves. And to do what I need to do to grow and expand my consciousness. In that reading from the Book of Awakening, when it talked about the worm being cut and how after it healed or after it kept growing, that it was two worms instead of one, double the worm it was before. And so I see that in my own life. I see how things I have endured, things I've gone through, pain that I've experienced, right, wrong, indifferent, whatever, I wouldn't be where I am today in the knowledge and understanding and wisdom and peace and joy and love that I can connect with right now if I hadn't been through that and then learned from it. Again, the key being, we are not defined by what has happened to us, by how other people have treated us. Yes, there are feelings, and it's been said that you have to feel it to heal it. But feeling it is very, very different than continuing to tell ourselves a story that continues to injure us. Feeling it is just like we did with that drink, being aware of the sensations, noticing what's going on in my body. Where do I feel this in my body? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? tuning into those senses allows us to let it pass. And when it passes, then we can clear it out of our body. My friend Deja does somatic movement. I've got Christina and Duvall that do breath work. Roman does breath work too. Uh, there's different tools. Steffi Ann does yoga. There's many other teachers. And those teachers have often been through their own struggles. They've often been seeking healing themselves. And in that healing, they found tools that then they can share with other people in a very real way. So, from one perspective, that pain was a gift. It may not feel like it at the moment, but it was a gift. It may be uncomfortable, like that hot tea on the roof of my mouth, and we may want to gulp it down and rush through and not feel it. And another thing I've learned specifically this year is that we are not ready a moment before we are. There is no rushing the process. There's no racing to the finish line and having it be authentic. We are ready exactly when we're ready and not a moment sooner. So, any thoughts of comparison to other people and where they're on their path, or judging ourselves because we're not further along from where we think we should be? I found that that just keeps me stuck because at the end of the day, I'm negatively judging myself and putting myself down. Whereas love looks like acceptance of what is. Love looks like, oh, that's a feeling you're going through. Love is reassurance that it will pass. Love is knowing I don't love myself less because it feels difficult right now. Loving myself through all that is. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Okay. Collectively, I've heard people going through a lot this year. I know people who have faced challenges like they've never faced before, with their health, with their finances, with relationships. And sometimes things have to crumble and get cold and look dead in order for them to bloom again. That decay from the fall, from the leaves decaying and the old logs and whatnot, from the weather breaking the trees, that creates an entire ecosystem for insects and birds when that happens. And if you only look at the tree, you may think, oh, poor tree. However, that experience for the tree led to this entirely new system for the whole ecosystem. And that tree lived its life. Even though a branch fell off, I walk at Waterworks Park a lot, and they do a great job of allowing nature to take its course and also clearing things out for people to be able to drive through and walk through. And trees that lose branches don't die. I mean, eventually they die, but just because they lost a branch does not mean it dies. It might get struck by lightning. I've noticed that when it's really, really windy, there's the branches that sway just a little bit at the very top. If they don't sway at all, that's when they break. But if they can sway just a bit, they can withstand those winds. And it's the same with us. If we're too rigid, specifically if I am too rigid in what I think is right, or how I think it needs to be done, or what I think is perfect, that's when things break. Also, sometimes things have to break. to open up the way for a new ecosystem. See how that lands in your body. What ideas come to mind as I say those words? You're free to disagree. You're free to agree. You're free to have your own perception of how things work. I'm speaking from my heart about things that resonate with me and have touched me and have helped me understand how the world works. And I encourage you and invite you to find that for yourself, whatever it is. It might be nature, it might be art, it might be music, it might be dance, it might be something I can't even imagine, engineering or fixing things or hunting. I don't know. But I do know that we each have our own way of connecting. And just like I said in the beginning, we don't have to believe in it for it to be there. I can speak to personally, life is a lot easier. It has a lot more ease and flow and peace when I acknowledge it and work with it. But you're free to be as miserable as you want to be for as long as you want to be, and for as long as you need to be ready to accept lessons. That goes back to we're not ready a moment before we're ready. So our suffering will last as long as we need it to. It's amazing to me how my suffering seems to have evaporated in a lot of ways. And at times, things like loneliness or heartache or pain of some kind, a memory or whatnot might pop up. But how now I can just feel it and it passes through quite quickly instead of leading me to do self destructive behaviors or hurting other people. I can just acknowledge it and be grateful that I survived it, and then focus on who I want to be and what I want to do right now. So I offer that same concept to you. Maybe it's familiar, maybe it's foreign, but either way, you get it your way. I'm noticing how brightly the sun is shining right now. I actually have to have the shades pulled. It's this bright with the shades pulled. But we've had some cloudy days over the last week or so, and it comforts me to know and remember that no matter how cloudy it is, the sun is still shining. It doesn't stop or dim just because it's cloudy or storming or foggy. It's still there, and it will shine bright again. And all the weather that we have has its own advantages and disadvantages, comforts and discomforts. Again, this time of year, there's no bugs, there's no mosquitoes. I kind of like that there's hardly anybody out. I like being the only one out in the stillness, connecting with nature. I feel like the earth can whisper and I can hear it. In the summertime, in the springtime, there's bright flowers and bees and butterflies and all kinds of wildlife, baby animals. I love baby animals. And in the fall, the trees are so beautiful and they give us the lesson about letting go and how it changes from summer to fall to winter. How the earth sleeps and then comes awake again. All of it. All of it has something to appreciate. So, what do you appreciate about the year you've experienced? What lessons have you learned? And if you want, share it on the chat. If there's a chat wherever you are, you can post a comment. I'm seeing some little things, but honestly, I'm not fully versed in in this technology I'm using. I'm getting better at it, but I can't read what people have said right now, but I will be able to read it later. So if you have some wisdom to share, or you have some lessons that you've learned, know that if you get the nudge to share it, there's a reason, there's a purpose to what you've experienced. And whatever you feel like sharing needs to be heard by someone else. So I encourage you to share and to be open to that inner guidance from the source of all life and love, to connect with it inside you. And know that if you have a desire, there's a way through it. There's a way to it, I should say. And I think I've quoted her before, but Judy Blaze said one time that you don't have to know how, just allow. So just allow the miracles to happen. Okay, I feel complete. I wish you all warmth and health and happiness, and enjoy your snow day. Enjoy the view out your window. If you are willing and able to share your resources with Unity Center of Des Moines, we can accept donations via Venmo, Zelle, and also, of course, check or cash in person. I will put the links to Venmo and Zelle and the information on how to do it in the chats on YouTube and on Facebook. Also, you can click on the donate button on our website, unitydesmoines.com. But whatever it is, whatever you contribute, whether it's a financial, spiritual, energetic, or physical level, we want to offer the following affirmation. I am infinitely abundant. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source. And on behalf of Unity Center of Des Moines, we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, for hopping on now. And if maybe you're seeing it in the future, you are loved and supported by the universe, by the same power that makes the sun rise, the moon go through phases, and the flowers bloom right on time. So I hope to see you Tuesday night at 6:30, December 16th at 6:30 for our candlelight Christmas celebration. It's going to be a great time, snacks and white elephant, and hope to see you there. Much love.